Welcome to the Global Flag Football League podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 8 of the Global Flag Football League podcast. Today, we're joined by the dynamic Marnie Schneider, author, speaker, CEO of Gameday in the USA, and president of the women's division of the GFFL. Football runs deep in Marnie's family. As the granddaughter of legendary Philadelphia Eagles owner Leonard Tose and daughter of Susan Tose Spencer, the NFL's first and only female general manager, Marnie was raised around the game and the people shaping it. Now she's channeling the legacy into her work with the GFFL, helping build a professional flag football league that champions inclusivity, equality, and community. In this episode, Marnie shares reflections from her NFL upbringing, lessons in leadership from her trailblazing mother, and how she's helping to build something truly special in the GFFL. Marnie, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dylan. Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you as well. So, Marnie, you come from an incredible football legacy. What does carrying forward the Toast family torch mean to you, and how has that legacy influenced your journey?
That's a great question. I think that for me, being able to sustain anything is really important, but then sustaining a family legacy
Right.
is everything to me. Honoring my grandfather and the sacrifices that he made, and my mom and the sacrifices that she made, and then building upon that so that my children can see what really matters is, building upon this beautiful family legacy that they have, and hopefully I can, carry it to the next generation and do really good things and make good things happen.
Right, right. Well, I think you're doing an incredible job thus far, as everything speaks for itself. So, your grandfather, Leonard Tose, he was the former owner of the Philadelphia Eagles and the founder of Ronald McDonald House Charities, right? So, what was it like growing up around the NFL and the Eagles organization? How did that experience shape your passion for sports?
So I think that, similar to, and when I tell this to other people, they understand it in this way. So
Yeah.
when you go to work with your parents, you get to see what goes on. And there are some, and certainly in professional football, there's some incredible glamorous moments, but then
Yes.
you really see that the nitty gritty. Like my mom was photocopying, my grandfather was, making deals and doing all those things. So I think that, getting the opportunity to be exposed to that. And what I tell my friends is take your kids to work, take them places and show them things. Cause it's not just this, you get on a team plane and you travel and you go eat lobster tail with drawn butter and, and wear pretty dresses. That's not really what the experience was for me, at least. Maybe it is
Yes.
for other people, but for me, it was really seeing people roll up their sleeves, do the hard work, make sure that their families were taken care of, provide for the fans, make sure that the experience is great for the community. And that is why I think that, I was so fortunate to get to see all the different parts of it. It wasn't simply just showing up on game day. It
Right.
was really seeing what everybody does to make the game day great for everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. But was there a time when you realized that that's not what everybody gets to experience as a child? Because I mean, yes, the you get to see all the ins and outs of it, and it was probably just craziness, and it was amazing to see. But was there a time when you realized that, not all these kids get to experience what you did at that age?
Oh yeah, I knew that my experiences, my mom and my grandfather, I think did a really good job of making me understand that this was a unique experience, but
Right.
I did, get to bring a lot of my friends to games and they got to be part of that. My friends that were boys got to go into the locker room after the game. So I think that they loved that. And as a result, football is family and it was a smaller family dynamic back in the 80s, I think,
Right.
and now it's much more of a corporate culture and it's harder to have those intimate experiences. But I think that I definitely knew that I was part of something that was special. And that's also why I think that I never got into real trouble because
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a burden to my family by drinking or doing drugs or cheating in school. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to do any of those things because I also knew I got to do cool stuff. And if I got in trouble, I wasn't going to get to do the cool stuff. So I
Right.
didn't. That was a great leveraging for my mom. Like, if you don't behave, you're not going to get to go to Denver or get to go to San Diego at the time because I loved, from Philadelphia, you wanted to go to San Diego. That was like
Absolutely.
heaven. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, speaking of your mother, Susan Tose Spencer, she shattered ceilings in the NFL, right? what lessons did she instill in you that continue to guide your leadership today? Because you speak a lot about her and you like love to tell her story based on the research I've done. So are there some things that really stick out to you?
Yeah, well, I mean, everything. My mom died a month ago today,
Right.
actually.
My condolences,
So
right.
it's still, yeah, it's still very fresh. I
Yes.
think that, my mom was somebody that, uh, and recently, people have been, writing stories about her and like, we want pictures of your mom. And I'm like, I mean, I have personal pictures of my mom, but like her as a professional, she just kept a very light shadow, but got in there and did the work. And I think that like, that's really what is so special about her. So many things. Like she brought women in that when women were not part of this, culture of being in professional sports, and she encouraged women and she was a great cheerleader. Oftentimes women aren't that supportive of one another. My mom was
Yeah.
the total opposite, super supportive of other women getting things done. But she was also like, super cool. And all the, my friends all love to hang out with my mom because she was
Heck yeah.
cool and smart and thoughtful. And so I think that my mom would just always tell me certain things like, you can't expect people to do what you would do, or you'll be living a life of constant disappointment.
Mm,
And so there were some great lessons. And like, if you're not prepared, don't show up. And so I think about all these things that my mom told me growing up. And that's probably why I've been able to, certainly function in this day and age, but definitely I'm so grateful for all the incredible lessons that my mom shared with me and my
hmm.
friends too. So
Right.
many.
Right. I mean, talk about a true trailblazer. I mean, you just think about the challenges she had to have probably overcome to be in a position like general manager. I mean, I can only imagine the things you've seen and the things that she went through that she accomplished. And it's amazing, amazing to see. Especially I was doing the research. I was like, man, this is incredible.
She's an incredible woman. She
Yeah.
really was incredible. Obviously very supportive of other people succeeding, wanting people to succeed and wanting to have fun too. And
Yeah.
I think that my mom liked to have fun. She's a fun person, lighthearted, and very different than what a lot of the papers and the news reporters and the sports reporters, portrayed her. But
Right.
I mean, she was also incredibly beautiful. So I think that, that was probably hard for them as well. Because like when
How
you're
can you
really
have both?
pretty,
Right. Yeah.
you're really smart, it's
Yeah.
like, what are you gonna, and she's really smart and really pretty and really cool, So they found ways to, to kind of write some, not flattering things about her, but
Right.
none of it's true. And again, she would just tell me, like, you just got to consider the source. And so
Yeah.
just right along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Talk about the whole package, right? I mean, it's ridiculous that the news stations have to go about it that way, right? And newspapers, because it's just like, why can't somebody be that great? Why do you have to try to find the wrong? Because I mean, I understand people always want to read that aspect of they don't want anybody to be perfect, but for her to be able to push past that and not let it, to an extent, affect her, right, is just truly amazing. And then to instill that in you so that you can instill that in your children, it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very fortunate. I know how blessed growing up in this unique scenario. And that's why it's really important for me to continue a legacy, because otherwise I'd be squandering all these great gifts that I was given, not material gifts, although there were those too, but all the great gifts of experience and exposure and learning. If I did not take that and to the next level, then I would be squandering all of that, and that would be really shameful. So
Right.
we're not gonna let that happen.
No, definitely not. You're not, definitely.
No.
Oh, well, thank you so much for touching on that, Marnie. I know it's not an easy topic, especially being that it's only been a month, but thank you so much for sharing that. I did want
Yeah.
to shift gears a little bit, from NFL films to Hollywood, right? Shout out the wedding
Yeah.
singer.
That's
Actually,
right.
before
Hot
I get
towel.
going on that,
Hot towel. That was my
Joyce.
scene in the movie. Hot
Yes.
towel,
Yep.
the first class flight attendant.
Yeah.
Just buzz if you need anything. Yeah.
Before I
Yeah.
get going, I have to ask you, how did that come about and you get into that role?
Well, one of the things my mom taught me was like, if you're invited, if you just go do it. So
Yeah.
I was friendly with Adam Sandler, and he said, "Do you want to be in the movie?" And I was like, "I don't know what to do, but okay, I'll try it." And so it turned out it was great, and it was lots of
Uh,
fun. My friends will screenshot when it's on, they'll send me pictures of it and they're like, oh my gosh, you're on, Comedy Central or whatever. So,
right.
yeah.
I
Uh,
literally
I I did it, and it was fun, and it's a great movie, and just fun to kind of it's a fun little party trick that I can talk about. Well, I was in The Wedding Singer, and
Yes.
when I get on airplanes and I talk to the flight attendants and I tell them that, and then we end up, becoming best friends. So that's
Right.
fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell them I can do this job, just so you know.
I couldn't.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I know.
probably
I
not.
know.
My
I
best
know.
friend's a flight attendant,
Yeah.
and they do is,
Yeah. You're
is
right.
like unbelievable the job that they do.
Exactly.
But I can in a movie pass
Yes.
out hot towels and yeah, and hopefully have a little bit of comic relief. Yeah.
Exactly. No,
Yes.
that is truly amazing. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched that movie, and never thought that I'd be interviewing, you on this show. It's so
Joyce.
awesome.
Yes.
Yes,
Pun
Joyce.
intended.
Yeah.
I know. Yes, that is. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. Again,
Yes.
it's like, finding ways to connect with people, and those are fun things. And so my mom liked to have fun, and she would encourage me to go do things that might have been a little scary. And
Yeah.
certainly, movie when you're with actors and direct, like I had no idea what I was doing. I was terrible,
Right.
but somehow they coached me well enough where I figured it out, and it was lots of fun. I'm glad
Yeah.
that I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. No, for sure. So what I was getting at you was, you've worn a lot of hats, and how have your diverse experiences shaped your mission with Game Day in the USA?
So I think that is wearing lots of hats. I'm a mom, I'm a single mom with three kids. So and I have to navigate all of that, being sometimes, definitely mother, always
Right.
mother, sometimes, father. Often, my mom was ill for the past couple years, so grandmother, trying to figure out how to do that and do things that would be grandmother like for my kids, even though my mom was still around, because
Yeah.
grandparents spoil kids in different ways. And then professionally, I think that, flexibility, the people that are flexible are usually the most successful. If they can have the understanding of being flexible and putting themselves in different situations and having some empathy of what other people are doing or how to get something done, I think it lends itself to being successful. So I'm glad that I got the chance to, be in do different jobs and learn different things and wear many hats, because I think it just adds to the whole picture of what I'm trying to do, which is ultimately, create a sports edutainment company. We created a new term, sports edutainment, because
Yes.
that's really what I think we are. And getting kids excited about reading and playing and being a fan and speaking the language of sports. So all the things that I've done, I think kind of culminate in this whole sports edutainment business that I created.
No, it's been incredible. And, it's ability to adapt and be able to delegate, right? Because I'm sure that's what you have to do, especially now, and wearing all those different hats. Like you said, being a mother, that never gets turned off, and then sometimes father, it's difficult, right? And then still running your business, doing that all at once is not easy, and you've been doing an amazing job at it.
Well, thank you, Dylan. Again, it's fun, and people do say, like, if you like what you do, then it won't seem like work. And it's true.
Right.
Like yesterday, I had, when you're even when you're in like the thick of it, like the grunt work of it, which is like the beautiful part of it almost. It's kind of like I would describe it as like the lotus flower, and you don't see all the mud and all this stuff and the ick, and then suddenly the lotus flower just pops up out of the
Mhm.
swamp. But
Right.
it's like that's what people that are successful do.
Yeah.
Like you're in the swamp, like you're in it. And then one day you'll just pop up and be a beautiful flower. And
Right.
then people will be like, oh, that was easy. Be like, yep,
Yeah.
really easy.
Right.
But people that have a good attitude and that do understand, making a difference and what hard work really is and smart work, then I think that they do make things look easy, and
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. Like I want people to be like that was easy, because it ultimately it's all about your mindset anyway. So
Yeah.
nothing's that difficult. Like my kids are healthy. Yes, my mother just died a month ago. That's very difficult, but I'm blessed with so many things that it is easy in many ways, easier for me than many other people. So I would again be like a jerk if I wasn't taking advantage of making things happen, because things are easier for me. I do know that. They
Mm.
are. And I'm healthy and my kids are healthy and I've got friends and family who love me and great animals, and that makes things, people that want to help, people that want to have me on their podcast, like so things are easy in
Right.
many.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's they're seeing the end result, right? They're not seeing everything that goes into it. And it's just like back to what you were talking about with your grandfather and your mother working in the with the Eagles is nobody gets to see the grimy, day in and day out hard work that they have to do. They just see game day and they're like, "Oh, I can do this and that's easy." It's like or if there's any mistakes, like how could that happen? But they don't see everything that goes into it, right?
It's so true. I want to create a game show. Okay. So here's the idea for the game show.
Yeah.
So imagine like you're watching the NBA finals, okay? And there's a buzzer shot and the guy misses it or makes it, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And but let's just say misses it. And then, all the people are like, I could have made that shot. I could have made that shot. So my idea for the game show is to pick all these different things that people think that they could do, whether it's make the buzzer shot, whether it's, be a cheerleader on a super cold day and windy and be out there for, cheering for the fans or the bad team, or, throw the game winning pass or any of these things.
Yeah.
And if a person, a civilian, okay, can actually do it, now you can recreate it, but not exactly recreate it, then they get that person's salary for the day.
Oh.
Because most people think that they can do it, which is, good for them. But again, like getting in there and figuring out how to make it happen and how to execute it and what it takes to get it done, people don't understand all of that. And so I think that my game show will be a big hit when I get it
Yeah, I think so
done.
too. It's like the
Right?
yeah, it's like the business side of pros versus Joes, It's like that,
Yeah.
but on the business side of things. I would watch the heck out of that show. That sounds amazing.
It's just because like it's human nature. Be like, I could, meanwhile you're sitting there, with your bucket of wings in front of you
I
and
know.
complaining like, I can't believe he missed that pass. Like,
Yes.
okay, you think you could try it? You think
Yeah.
you could do it?
Yes.
And then you get out there and you're like, whoa,
Oh,
yeah, that
yeah.
not even,
Don't even
not
come
even
close.
like, I mean, even like throwing a baseball, like, I can't believe he didn't get that guy out. I
Yeah.
mean, come on. I mean, so professional athletes and people that are good at their jobs make things look easy. And that's
Yes.
great. It's great for us because then we can have something to look to build upon and to be like, you know what? I want things to look easy. I want to be so good at what I'm doing that it looks easy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then you have the people who are like, well, I'm not paid millions of dollars and I'm not trained to do that. Well, even if you did the training, you were paid that, there's a very high chance that you're still not going to succeed as well as they are. So you're right. It's so
Exactly.
easy for people to sit back on their couch and be, say the naysayers every
Yeah,
time.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
you're right. So I did want to shift gears again because I see you're holding your dog there. So what sparked the idea of Football Freddie and Fumble the Dog, and how did you envision it blending literacy and football culture?
So my mom was a teacher before she became, an entrepreneur and vice president, GM, and legal counsel at the Philadelphia Eagles. She was a teacher. So I think that growing up, reading and writing were always a huge part of my daily routine.
Okay.
And long plane rides, from wherever, from San Diego back to Philadelphia, we didn't have iPads or iPhones. I had a Sony Walkman, and if I ran
Yeah.
out of batteries, that meant, which it often did, that meant that I was stuck with with a pen and a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And so kind of got the idea of Football Freddie as a young girl when I was traveling with my mom. And then in 2017, right when she was getting diagnosed with dementia, she said, I think you should take out those notes from when you were a young girl and let's do something with it. And I was like, I don't think so, Mom. She was like, no, there's something there. And so we kind of got down to it and reworked it. And my mom was incredibly involved in the beginning. And I'm so thankful for that because she was really my partner and my co-author on a
Yeah.
few of the books and started the whole thing and really gave me the confidence to start it. And so Football Freddie and she's like, well, I think if we did it like this, like you'll talk about Philadelphia, you could talk about Kansas City, you could talk about Dallas Fort Worth, talk about the cities that you went to and we saw, that you saw and traveled around. So Football Freddie and Fumble the dog and we, this he really is my dog. And
Yes.
yeah, you can see. And his real name is Irving, but his stage name is Fumble. And so we came up with Football Freddie and Fumble the dog. I like alliteration, so it made sense. And
Hmm.
Game Day in the USA, and our first book came out in 2018, and it did really well. We talk about the city of Philadelphia and travel all around, get to see the great sites, the Liberty Bell, the National Constitution Center, the Art Museum, the Rocky Steps, and
Yes.
then where they have the parades, and then some of the culinary delights like a cheesesteak, and then you make your way to the stadium to cheer on the home team. And so that book did really well. And then I've written 10 other books since
Wow.
then. 10 other cities. I did the Carolinas, I did Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Green Bay, Dallas, Fort Worth, Tampa Bay. I teamed up with the Pro Football Hall of Fame and did Game Day in Canton. I did Denver and Kansas City. And now I'm working on Game Day in San Francisco. And so that'll be out at the start of the season. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited. And my co-authors on that book is Kat Waters, Ricky Waters' wife, and Tom Vincent, Troy Vincent's wife. So that'll be really fun. And it's, the three of us travel around San Francisco and Santa Clara, and we make our way to the stadium. And I'm super excited about that. And then we're going to start working with baseball, with Major League Baseball, and do the same thing, only it's baseball Billy and Bunt Dog. So same idea, travel around, get to see all these great sites. And I think that when kids are excited about reading, that's why we call our company, Game Day, but it's really a sports edutainment company.
Yeah.
That's a totally new category that we created, and we're really excited about it because we really do believe that getting kids excited about being a fan, excited about playing, excited about a team really will help them with every single thing that they're doing, because fans really do have more friends. They do.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I
Yeah.
can't wait for that 49ers one to come out. San Francisco. I'm a 49ers fan.
Right.
Go Niners.
I'm working on it right now,
Yeah.
so soon. Yep.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's
So
gonna be really fun.
do you plan to try to go to all 32
Yes.
professional teams? Yeah. Okay.
That is the plan. We're taking a little break out of professional football.
Right.
We're going to do a couple MLB teams and partner up with probably the New York Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies. And
Awesome.
so that'll be very exciting. And we'll have those books out for the start of the Major League Baseball season in 2026.
Wow.
But football, obviously, I love football. So working on Game Day in San Francisco right now. It'll be out when the season starts, and then, have it through the season. And I might try to get another book in there in between the season ending, but definitely Super Bowl is in San Francisco
Yeah.
in 2026. So it'll be a great way to celebrate the wonderful city of San Francisco and the fans. And I'm super excited about that.
Right. Yes, it really will be. I cannot wait for that. But
Yeah.
you're absolutely right, because, today's youth, they're definitely less engaged with traditional sports fandom, right? So how do you think we can reignite that passion? Is this one way? And then especially through platforms like yours that merge learning with love of the game?
We believe that we have solved the problem. We have the solution, by
Yeah.
getting kids excited about reading, all right, which certainly helps everybody. We all know that when you read, that is the number one thing you can do as a coping skill for kids, is getting them
Right.
excited about reading. If kids can read, they can do anything. And right now we're really in a free fall of, literacy in our country. So it's really important to get kids reading. So that's the number one thing. Well, they're going to read stuff that is interesting to them. Okay. So obviously, most kids love sports, or people do have some sort of understanding of sport. So if they can be read to about sports and it's still fun and it is engaging, then we believe that while reading Football Freddie and Fumble the Dog, Game Day, or Baseball Billy and Bunt, or soon to be Basketball Bobby and Buzzer, Soccer Sammy and Score, all of our characters that are within our Game Day sports edutainment brand, that we can help kids get excited about being a fan and understanding what it means to be a fan, because there really is nothing more fun than being a fan.
Right. No, absolutely. So are you working with schools to get these implemented into schools? Is that how that works?
Yeah, we're approved curriculum in many different school districts. I'm actually about to, send a package to the Department of Education of
Oh,
the United States. So we'll see what happens with that. But there's definitely some synergy there, and they're interested in seeing what we've done and seeing how it could fit some of the things that they're interested in doing. And this current administration is definitely, they love sports,
right.
and we are all about sports and kids and wholesome fun. And so it might be a good fit, and getting kids excited about reading and getting people excited to read to them. So one of the things that really has helped us is professional athletes, when they get asked to go read, whether it's Drew Pearson at the Hall of Fame or Timmy Newsome or, anybody, they seem to really like to pick our books because it reminds them of their, what they love, which is football and
Yeah.
their teams. And then also they get excited about sharing what they love with young readers. And so that's been a really fun partnership to team up with retired professional athletes and get them excited about reading Football Freddie to the kids in the schools where they go to. And it's fun for them too, because they get they get to talk to the young fans about what it was like to be a professional football player, be on the field, and then the kids get excited because, they're getting read to. So it's a win-win.
It really is. Nope, you're absolutely right. Oh man, that is amazing, Marnie. I cannot wait to see it continue to prosper, and it's amazing
Thank
to
you.
see. So I want to shift gears again because I want to start getting into a little bit about the GFFL, right? So can
Yeah.
you walk us through your role as president of the women's division of the GFFL? And what are some of the key responsibilities you'll be managing, and how are you helping shape the direction of the league?
Well, I think certainly, finding great partners, it's always about having great partners. And anything you do, personal, professional, you have to have great partners. So the early responsibilities have been for me to bring in some great people to partner with as sponsorship partners, equipment partners, management partners, and leadership partners.
Yeah.
Marjorie, who is the commissioner of the GFFL, is one of my dearest friends, and so I refer to her as my boss, and I'm like, which is really funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, I brought my boss, like I hired my boss
Yeah.
basically. I'm like, I wanted all right, wait, that's not exact. Okay, so she's my friend. And so my friend was hired to be my boss. So
Right.
how lucky am I? But Marjorie is an incredible talent, and Scott Murray. So working with Scott and Marjorie, who I adore, and they're amazing people, has been tons of fun, and they've got a great vision. So I think, me is taking what they want to also do, bringing in great partners, being a great brand ambassador of the sport. I love flag football. I love football. I love getting women and young women to play the sport, and it's exciting because I think it's something where they really feel connected to it. They really, really do. They really get excited about flag football. It's a great sport. I know that, my kids played it when they were younger. And
Yeah.
so now, I have one daughter and two boys, everybody played it. So now seeing, flag football for women become such a great opportunity, I think even in some ways more exciting than the men's, because like we know dudes can play,
Right.
like football, but getting the girls excited about it is so fun, and I'm so excited about that. So just watching it and being part of something that is fresh and new, and I mean it's not, but it is, and like watching that turn into this big huge thing, that's cool. I love
Right.
that.
Yes, exactly. The momentum of it right now is insane, especially in the women's side of it. My daughter and my oldest, she's 9. She loves playing on my nephew's flag football team. I cannot get her to play another sport when it comes to if it's choosing between that or another sport. She's like, I'm in on flag football, being the only girl, on the team.
Good
Um,
for her.
yeah,
I love
she loves it. But we watched I think it was the 18U national championship, and she was just glued to it. And you're absolutely right. The athleticism, I mean, it's just great to see women playing this sport because they haven't had as much of the opportunity in traditional football. So it truly is amazing. So
Yeah.
the GFFL has made a strong commitment to paying equally and inclusivity, right? Can you share how the league plans to deliver on that promise and why it's so important in today's sports landscape?
Well, I think that, coming from a place where we just want to have the best people competing.
Yeah.
So if they're the best, then they get paid for the best. Like that's it.
Yes.
It's really not that difficult. It's like the best, you pay for the best. That's it. Across the board, the best gets paid. Next, like moving
Right.
right along. Like that's how it
Exactly.
is. We want the
Yes.
best people, and money talks. And if you pay people well, they're going to be happy. They're going to know that they're getting compensated for their job. And we want to pay people. They're the best people. They get paid. That's it. That's
Yes.
how. So
Exactly. And
that's fun.
the fact that it's going to be a professional league, right? So it doesn't stop at college because now it's becoming a collegiate sport in many states. And so now that there's a professional league, they can work towards it. Even as young girls, they can start working towards something that they love. So
That's right.
it really is amazing to see.
It is. And pe people getting paid for doing the work is, fun. I love, being able to see people get rewarded for the hard work that they've done, and the sacrifices and the family sacrifices and all of the things that happen. It's not just you wake up and suddenly you're the lotus. It's like the whole family has been growing through the swamp, to use that expression again.
Yes.
And so everybody blooms at the same time. And so we want to make sure that everybody knows how valued they are and how important they are and how much they matter just in anything that they're doing. But certainly when they're out there gritting it out, and being an athlete is very difficult. I mean,
Yeah.
I went and worked out yesterday, and the woman that I was training with was a Carolina Panthers cheerleader.
Mm.
Dylan, I can barely walk. I literally like I my thighs, okay, my arms, all right. And
Yeah,
she's a cheerleader, all right. People often say like, oh, cheerleaders, what? Okay, let me
she's
just
an
tell you.
athlete. Yeah,
I was crawling on my floor yesterday to like get into the kitchen. I mean, I looked like a wreck because I was so sore. And then she told me, she was like, "Are you sore today?" I'm like, "Yes." She was like, "It's gonna be worse tomorrow." I'm like, "I can't
right.
take
Yeah, I'm done. That's it. I've had enough.
it." Like,
No,
oh no, yeah. So, again, people that are good at their job make it look easy. And I was like, "Oh, it's easy. I got this, whatever." I
right.
mean, an hour later, I'm like, "Oh,
I know.
like I cannot
Always,
move."
always
Yeah,
that first workout too. You just go so hard because you're like, "Oh, I need to get back to where I was at,
right.
or whatever. And then
Yeah.
the next day you're just regretting it, right?
Exactly.
Uh,
And she was like, try holding pom-poms and being sweaty and being on the side,
uh,
like, oh, good Lord. And remembering a dance routine at the same time. Forget it.
exactly. No, absolutely. I don't think everybody really pays attention to that because again, they just see that end result. They see them there and they're all in
Yeah.
unison doing the exact same thing from across the football field. They're still all on cue, and that's not easy. I mean, the preparation and everything that goes into it, when you really watch it, it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's really difficult. And so
Right.
it's exciting to be able to pay people to be the
Hmm.
best. And that's, whether they're whatever, pay them. Let's
Right.
go.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, once again, being a part of the, trailblazing, getting this going and for the women, and I cannot wait to see how it goes and how it continues to grow, the GFFL. It is truly
Oh,
amazing.
I'm very excited about it, Dylan. It's
Yeah,
going to be
I am as well. Well, Marnie, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. I did want to ask, how can listeners connect with you and learn more about the GFFL?
So they can follow me on Instagram. I'm Marnie Schneider one on social media. They can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook, and they can go to GFFL and ask to be connected with me if they have questions. But probably, I guess, social media. Go to my Instagram page, Marnie Schneider one, and or LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm pretty accessible. So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll
We
make
want to
sure.
hear from everybody that wants to be in, and people that want to be involved, like we want to connect with them. We want people to be involved. We're looking to build a great fan base. I mean, the fan experience is so important, and I love it when people are fans, and we're excited for our fans. Like we want our fans to be really into it and be like, "This is the best," and I'm excited to be able to deliver to them great performances on the field and great experiences off the field.
Yes, absolutely. I think they definitely have all the right people in place to make this happen too, and you're definitely one of them. So I'm
Thank
excited to
you.
see it, of course. All right. Well, again, thank you, Marnie, for joining today and spending time with myself and the listeners.
Well, thank you for having me. Great to see you. And yeah, I mean, lots of good, fun things ahead. And thank you for sharing my story and for, celebrating my mom with me. I really appreciate that. Thank you.